Yeah, so apparently I'm a decade late to the party, but holy shit, Drive is an incredible movie. Hey guys, Trip here, and today I want to talk about a 9-year-old film, because apparently I just don't care if I'm relevant or not. So in case you've been living under a rock like me, Drive is a 2011 drama about a getaway driver, but as you can imagine, it's so much more than that. Now, I know tons of people have talked about this movie before. How can you not? Drive is a film that begs to be analyzed, picked apart, and argued over. But in the midst of this debate, I think this causes some people to miss the point of the entire movie. Now, before we go any further, I really want to encourage you guys to see this film if you haven't already. Drive is a movie that should be seen without any context or knowledge of it. Honestly, even knowing the genre is too much information. All I'll say is that this is not the movie you probably think it is. If you go into this thinking it's fast and furious, you're not going to be satisfied. Drive is a slow burn drama, driven by Ryan Gosling's incredible and unsettling performance. Seriously, you can rent the movie for like $4 on YouTube or Amazon. Go watch it. I'll wait. Alright, we good? Cause there's spoilers ahead. Alright, let's take a look. So assuming you've watched the movie, there's a lot to pick apart here, but the core theme is spelled out in one particular scene. When the driver and Benicio are watching cartoons together, Benicio remarks that the shark is obviously the bad guy, because I mean, just look at him. The driver then asks if there are any good sharks. This is the question that drives the film. It all comes back to this one scene. But let's dive a bit deeper. I think we can all agree that Drive completely loses its shit in the best way possible in the second half. What begins as an earnest love story with some criminal undertones suddenly becomes a blood-drenched slasher film, inspiring the likes of Nightcrawler and Hotline Miami. The iconic motel scene is where we truly start to learn who and what the driver is, and it's also where I think some people miss the mark in their analysis of the film. A lot of people seem to think the driver is slowly going insane throughout the movie, that his heroic perception of himself is falling apart in his pursuit of justice. I think they have it backwards. The driver does not see himself as a good person at the beginning of this movie, and he's no stranger to violence. The film draws attention to this multiple times. Early in the movie, he remarks that his hands are dirty, to which the main antagonist replies that his are too. He refuses to bring a gun on his missions, not because he's a pacifist, but because of how dangerous he already is. But these illusions come to a head in the motel scene. I mean, just look at him. This is not a look of, what have I done? This is a look of, here we go again. Up until this point, the driver has been holding back his inner nature, but I don't think this was always the case. He's simply too good at killing, too comfortable with it, too willing to revel in his own bloodshed for this to be anything out of the ordinary for him. The driver thinks he can live a normal life by denying his nature, but this is his world. A lot of people wonder why the driver dons such a creepy mask in the third act. There's a ton of theories about this, and none of them are really satisfying to me. But I think it's pretty simple once you accept who the driver is. This is the mask of a killer, someone you'd see in a slasher film. This is what a shark looks like. So now we're getting a bit closer to what this film is trying to say. But to truly understand the meaning of this film, we need to analyze the soundtrack, particularly the main theme, A Real Hero by College. A lot of people focus on the real hero line. Now don't get me wrong, that's important, but it's the line a real human being that defines the conflict of this film. The driver has felt detached from humanity for a long time. He's clearly emotionally stunted. Whenever we see beyond his cold exterior, he seems to have the mannerisms of a confused puppy. He desperately wants to please the people in his life, but he's incapable of understanding them. This is most notable in the scene where the driver tells Irene about his involvement in her husband's death. He offers her the money as though that matters. He even offers to run away with her as though he's living in a cheesy Hollywood movie. It's almost adorable, but shows his utter lack of emotional maturity. But there's a deeper layer here that becomes clear a few minutes later. The driver's completely psychotic. He's not a heroic figure broken by a violent world. He's a monster, desperately trying to be human. What he doesn't understand is that he can't be human, at least not in the way he wants to be. Toward the end of the movie, the driver references the tale of the scorpion and the frog. This is a classic children's tale about a scorpion that stings a frog, not out of malice, but because it's his nature. The tale ends with both the scorpion and the frog drowning in a river, doomed by the frog's naivete and the scorpion's self-destructive behavior. The driver is going to keep stinging people, even at the cost of his relationships and his own well-being. In the first half of the movie, Irene, Benicio, and Standard are his unwitting frogs. But in the movie's final act, the driver accepts who he is. It's such a rare message. This idea that we all have parts of ourselves that we can't change. Drive argues that instead of running from yourself, you need to understand yourself. Only then can we start to improve. Only then can you become a real human and a real hero. This is why the driver recites the scorpion and the frog. Whatever you want to call him, a scorpion, a shark, a dangerous psychopath, violence is in his nature. Wherever he goes, bloodshed will follow. So the best he can do is make that bloodshed matter. You're gonna think I'm crazy, but this kind of reminds me of the core theme of Avengers Endgame. Rather than being what people expect you to be, all you can do is be the best version of yourself. By the end of the movie, the driver has found his own humanity in his own way. He'll always be a shark, but he's realized he can be a good shark. Now, this is the internet, so I should be clear. I'm not saying you should go out killing mobsters if you're feeling disconnected from those around you. I'm saying that, like any good movie, Drive is analyzing a relatable human conflict through the lens of an entertaining story. I gotta say, I love movies like this. Movies that straddle the line between hope and nihilism. Movies that find beauty and meaning in the chaos of the world. Drive manages to be a positive, uplifting story without falling into clean, saccharine tropes that don't represent real life. Hopefully there aren't any sharks in the audience, but I'm willing to bet a lot of people can relate to the driver in their own way. Maybe you feel detached from a world that expects you to be someone you're not. Maybe people in your life are pushing you in a direction that isn't right for you. Maybe your life took a turn, things didn't go as planned, and you're not sure what to do next. Or hell, maybe you're still trying to figure out who you are, and if that person is any worth to society at large. Drive is an extreme, blood-drenched version of the same conflicts people face every day. It's a parable with a simple message. Be the best version of who you are. But hey, that's just my opinion. Hey guys, Trip here. If you liked that video, why not watch some more? Hit that like button and make sure to share this video on Reddit and social media. I've also been streaming pretty regularly, so if you want to hang out with me and my friends, check me out on twitch.tv/psychotripstreams. If you want more Psychotrip, check out my Patreon. There you'll find all of my videos, as well as articles I've written for Comicsverse. If you like what you see, think about donating $1 or $2. Despite my best efforts, this video is definitely getting demonetized, so yay, Patreon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.